to stand. We're just going to do a little bit of mindfulness. So sit out of your low back. Take a deep breath here. You can close your eyes if you want. And I just want you to take your mind off of work, your mind off of your grocery list, any chores that need to be done. Clear your mind of any of those stressors. Take a deep breath here. Sit up nice and tall out of your back. If you're standing, find good posture. Your shoulders are relaxed, your jaw is relaxed. Any technology you have, you can flip it off. Taking a deep breath here. Exhaling out, letting go all of that stress, all of that tension. So I'm going to stand up for this. And I'm actually going to move my screen up a little bit so that you can all see me. I'm going to move my chair to the side so that we can use it during our stretches. Any desk that you have will work as well. So I am going to start with a couple of deep breaths. Inhaling up as we rise our arms, exhaling as we lower our arms. We're going to take a couple of deep breaths here. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, lengthening the spine, stretching up towards the sky, your ceiling. Exhaling down. Let's take one more breath here. Inhaling up, exhaling down. This time I want you to lift both your arms up. I am going to grab onto my right arm with my left wrist, and I'm going to pull towards the left, stretching out the side of my body, getting a nice side body stretch here. Taking a deep breath as you inhale, lengthen your spine. Keep your chest up, your head up, being proud of who we are. As we exhale, let's lower our arms down. We're going to inhale as we rise up, grabbing onto the opposite arm, the opposite wrist, stretching over, getting that side body stretch. As we inhale, lengthen that spine. As we exhale, maybe sink a little bit further. Exhaling out. We're going to hold each stretch for like 20-30 seconds, but you can feel free to hold any stretch a little bit longer. Let's take one more inhale, lengthening the spine. And as we exhale, bring those arms down. This time, I just want you to lift your right arm up, and we're going to fold behind to our shoulder blades. We're going to take our left arm, meeting our hand in between the shoulder blades right here. And like I said, if your hands don't reach, you can use anything, a t-shirt nearby, a dish towel. There's sticks around here. I could use a stick to hold on, just to be able to find that length to make those hands connect in one way or another. Take a deep breath here. Keep your head up, chest up, nice and tall. Finding space in between your elbows and your chest and your neck. Let's hold here for one more breath. As you inhale, lengthen that spine. Make it a big, nice inhale with a good exhale out. Gently release that arm down. We're going to lift up our left arm, bending at the elbow. Again, meeting at those shoulder blades. If you need to hold on to anything in between, you can do so. I have a stick. I could fold it down and meet here. You can use a dishcloth, anything. Holding here. Opening up that chest, opening up that shoulder. Keep your head up nice and tall. Let's take one more breath here. Exhaling, gently releasing our arms. We're going to take it into a neck stretch, and you can do all of this stuff seated too. So we're going to take our neck stretches nice and slow, just rotating our head in circles. Take them nice and slow, and you don't have to take your head all the way back to where you're straining your neck, straining your head. Now taking this nice and slow, you might feel that stretch in your sides, you might feel a little bit more in your upper back. It just goes to show that everything is connected. As you lower your head, exhale. As you rise your head up, inhale. Give me one more rotation here. Bringing your head back up to neutral, and we're going to rotate towards the other direction. Exhaling on the way down. Inhaling on the way up. Lengthening that spine. Feeling that stretch all over. Let's take one more rotation here. Exhaling as we bring our head down and lift back up to neutral. We're going to stretch out our upper back. If you're seated, you can do this on a table. You can do this on your chair if you're standing. So I'm going to do this standing to demonstrate. I'm going to stay back and I'm going to hinge at my hips, placing my hands on the table. And what I want you to do is really hinge those hips back so that you can get this upper back stretch. Placing your hand in between your arms. Stretching out those shoulder blades. Stretching out that upper back. As you inhale, I want you to focus on lengthening your spine. And as you exhale, you can relax a little bit further. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, relax a little bit further. From here, you can stay in this position, and I want you to keep your left heel down on the ground, moving your right leg forwards. This is your runner stretch right here. You're going to feel this in the back of the leg where the heel is on the ground. Stretching out your calves is very important. They play a role in a lot of the things we do. Walking, running, steps. It's really important to stretch them out. Take a deep breath here. Keep that back leg nice and straight with a mindful exhale. Let's take one more breath here. Exhaling out. From here, we're going to take it into a hip flexor stretch. What you can do here is widen up your stance. Just because I'm on the edge of my patio, I'm going to rotate my body so that I can widen up my stance. We're going to take it into a hip flexor stretch. You can use a little bit of support if you need to. What we're going to do is lower down that knee, making sure that our stomachs are pulled forward, our hips are pulled forward, feeling that stretch in the front of our thighs. You might feel that stretch all the way down to the quads. Taking a deep breath here. If you're comfortable with this position, you can rise up the same leg that is back, rise that arm up, getting a little bit more of a hip flexor side stretch. Taking a deep breath, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can come out of that. We're going to go back into that upper back stretch. So my hands are back onto the chair, pushing my hips back, stretching out my back and my spine. Let's take one more breath here. This time I want you to step the opposite leg forward. So my left leg is coming forward, my right leg is back into your runner's stretch here. Feeling that stretch in the back of the calf. We're going to take a couple breaths holding here. Keep your chest nice and tall, your shoulders nice and relaxed. From here, widen up that stance. Find yourself onto your toes, and we are going to stretch out our hip flexor on the right side. Sinking your knee down, and you can use that support if you need it. Holding here. If you're comfortable here, you can take, again, my right leg is back. I'm reaching with my right arm overhead just so I can get a little bit further of a stretch. Really stretching out those hips. Take one more breath here. Exhale. exhaling, find yourself back. We're gonna hit that upper back stretch one more time. Pushing those hips back, really stretching out. Press down on that table so you can get a little bit of back activation in there. Lengthening that spine with every inhale. As you exhale, relax everything. Let's take one more breath here. As you exhale, bring yourself back up to the standing position. We're going to stretch out our hamstrings. So what I want you to do is stand up nice and tall. You can do this seated as well. Place your right leg in front of you, okay, onto the ground. You can have your other leg bent. My heel is on the ground and my toes are pointing up to the sky. I'm hinging at the hips, feeling that stretch in the back of that hamstring. As I inhale, I'm lengthening my spine. And as I exhale, maybe sinking a little bit further into it. My toes are pointed up to the sky, making me feel that stretch all over the back of my leg. Give me one more breath. Exhaling out. And go ahead and switch for that other foot. My right leg is at a slight bend. My left leg is forward, lifting up my toes. And I'm hinging at the hips, leaning forward a little bit so I can feel that stretch in the back of that leg, in the calf. You can place your hands down a little bit further if you need to, leaning with your chest, not your head, keeping that back nice and straight. Let's take one more deep breath here. Go ahead and stand up. We're going to end stretching out our wrist. Super important, stretch those forearms out, especially if we're typing all day, using the mouse. We're always using our wrists. Super important to stretch them out. So go ahead and start with your left hand forward, and you can pull those fingertips back so you can feel that stretch underneath of your forearm. Go ahead and put those fingers pointing down, and we're going to stretch out the top of the forearm on that right arm. Feeling that stretch all over the top of the wrist, all over the forearm. Being mindful of your breathing. We're going to hold here for 3, 2, and 1. You can shake out that wrist. We'll go towards our left side, pulling those fingertips back towards you, stretching out that forearm underneath. Take a deep breath here. And you can go ahead and point those fingers down, stretching out the top of that forearm. Taking a couple deep breaths, relax your shoulders. We're going to hold here for 3, 2, 1. You can shake out those wrists. We're going to end with a couple deep breaths. Let all those cells in your body that don't have oxygen get oxygenated. So join me as we inhale and lift our arms up. Exhale on the way down. We're going to go for 2 more breaths. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale down. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this stretch break. Hopefully you feel a little loosened up and a little bit energized to get back to your work day.